All right, Mob
Oh
James.
man, James McDonald.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I I mean it's cool, but I hate that Mob James. I'll be Mob James today for you, bro.
All right, I appreciate it. Well, let's start with that. You try to go by James McDonald more now than Mob James.
Well, I prefer to use my government or James because I try not to identify with Mob James. I'm no longer Mob James. And, I'm damn near 60 years old, so I don't want to go by the gang shit, you know what I'm saying? So I do James McDonald.
How'd you get the Mob James? I mean, you're from Mob. You're from, what I'm saying, your name's James, but that was I seen like the newer generation of people doing that more than like the older generation. You know what I'm saying? Is that something you always did?
Back in the days, um, this was like 81, 80. One of my little homeboys, Michael Rose, uh, we used to call him Mini Bike Mike. I was just in the neighborhood up, just doing all kind of shit. And he just like, man, your name ringing out there. Fuck me, my name ringing. You doing too much. Slow down. I'm like, nigga, I can't slow down. And Mike said, man, we got to change your name. And he just started calling me Mob James. You the mob. And there you go. Mob James was born.
The whole time. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thought I'd kind of start off with some recent news that I seen. Suge did an interview,
hmm
and they asked him about the aggressive environment, and he kind of blamed it on just as kind of like competition. And he said he looked at it like a sport and to kind of make everybody better.
With violence?
That's what he said. He compared it to sports.
Nowhere near that. Um, we had a specific job, and Suge wanted and knew what he had to do to get where he was at. Suge knew inside that those people were scared, and they were scared of our type of people. They didn't want to deal with gangbangers and shit like that. So Suge used us as a tool to pretty much get what he wanted. So intimidation was the key to the beginning to the end.
Now, DJ Quick also kind of commented on this and said it was like, oh, he always had anxiety and then he was always nervous being there.
Right.
Is that something you kind of even from the artist you seen that type of environment there?
I think everybody was on their toes when it came to being at death row or being at the office or being out about with Suge and the homeboys, because at any given moment somebody did something wrong, you got your ass whooped, and the homies didn't have a problem with doing that, whooping that ass. So, a lot of those guys had to stay on their toes. A lot of those guys had to watch what they say and watch what they do, watch what they touch, watch how they talk to Suge. So yeah, that's a pretty much fair statement.
You mentioned, watching, people could say the wrong thing and get whooped. I seen you mention that at some point, during when the Compton City G song dropped and the Dre Day and all that, the Eazy beef was going on, and there was kind of like a lot of drama going on at that time. Can you kind of like take me through what it was like during that time?
Well, it wasn't really nothing for us. It was just, staying focused, man. And, you know, it wasn't so much shit that we had to worry about because this was our daily life. When we got when Death Row became and Southside and all these other different hoods came involved, it was just like another day in the hood because, we going against our rivals. Certain music I didn't deal with, DJ Quick I listened to, certain cats I didn't listen to. So it was just a pick and choose situation every day. Really didn't have to choose or pick because we only with what we was with at the time. I mean, everybody was active at that time. Everybody was gangbanging. Everybody was in that mode and ready to take off. So it was just normal activity for us, just like it would be for, you know, the other side. You know, it's just an average day in the park. Shit.
You mentioned DJ Quick, man. I seen that you had talked about a situation you had when you were bumping his music.
Yeah.
What all happened with that?
Well, that's at that time he was getting into it with 8, and him and 8 was going back and forth with the beef and so on. So I was going up Rosecrans one day and hit Central, and niggas shot at me. I'm bumping DJ Quick, and motherfuckers shot at me. We had an incident where motherfuckers bumping MCA shit, and niggas was getting shot at. So then it was, you know, all the gangbangers. I'm on the B side, so I'm rolling with DJ Quick, whatever. I don't give a. I didn't care, and you know those other guys on the other side felt the same way. So, you know, certain music I hear and didn't like it. If I was close enough to you and we was right there, it was a problem, because I think that the music identified us on, you know, what team we was playing on. You know what I'm saying? And that's on both sides.
So you guys kind of felt like DJ Quick was kind of like the representation for the Pyrus.
Oh
and
yeah.
8 was the Crips, and even though it was just music, you guys still took it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was more than music, and then, you know, Quick had to come back, and you know how 8 was, you know, his diss, and you know, at that time, you know, the Bloods was rolling with the Bloods, regardless of who. So that was like all over. You know what I'm saying? And 8 people was rolling with him. Me and 8 had that conversation before, and I was telling him, man, niggas was getting jacked up, niggas was getting shot at, niggas was getting beat up just by playing their music, different music.
Were you in a Crip hood when that happened?
No, I was on Rosecrans and Central.
Okay.
That was on the west side. Right, turning, making a right. I'm going to my auntie in my house. Make that right. Right there where Suge had his, where he had the incident with Terry Carter. On the corner of Tom's.
Oh, okay.
Turning right there.
In that same interview, man, Suge also said a lot of people lied about putting money into death row. Is that anything you would know anything about? He didn't specifically say any names.
Well, to my knowledge, Dr. Dre, damn, I forgot his name.
Harry-O?
The one with the throat.
DOC.
DOC and Harry-O. To my knowledge, those was the only names that was really mentioned. But as far as business-wise, can't say whether they're true or not. But I know those guys came and contribute to Death Row. Thomas Klein, who we was working with doing, it was called Fernhill Records. Just a handful of people that I've heard of.
Did DOC ever get anything out of it? I've never,
You know what? I don't know if he did like Dre, let him have it all and say it. I don't know what happened with that. That wasn't my, I wasn't in his business like that.
Okay. I recently seen you and Keefe had a plan to do an interview together.
Yeah.
What all happened with all that?
No, it didn't happen. I got a phone call from Vlad, and Vlad get at me and ask me would I do the interview? Yeah, I think that'd be good. You know what I'm saying? Let's air out some of the shit that was going on between the South and my neighborhood. So I said, yeah, that's cool. If he cool with it, I'm cool with it. Vlad called me a day later, and well, he requested security and all of this other shit. Well, I ain't no threat to him. He done been to Gangster Chronicles. He done been up there. Me and his son is good. I call him nephew. I done seen him a couple of times with his son. So what he needs security for? And it never happened.
Okay, and that was just over security, or he just didn't want to do it anymore?
What
Or?
what he needs security for? We don't need security. We grown men. And I didn't understand it, but Vlad said he wanted security. We're gonna have security there. Okay, cool, whatever. And it never happened.
Huh. But you were down to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
That would have been crazy.
well, Vlad just hit me recently to do an interview with BG Knockout. I don't have a problem, man. I'm not on the gang banging tip shit unless you are. I mean, I can always go back or revert to a Mob James, but I'm not on that page. So I don't have a problem with doing a interview with anybody. You know what I'm saying? If they straight, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? When I pulled up here, I went around the corner, checked out the cars, looked in the cars, and then I pulled up. And I sat there for 10, 15 minutes, then I hit you. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm good. I didn't have to come with nobody. I don't need nobody. Man, I used to walk off my porch every day. This might be it. I've been shot 4 times. So that could have been it any one of those times. I'm not worried about nor scared of a man. So I didn't have a problem with the interviews. So with Keefe didn't happen. And I didn't send BG my phone number, the whole nine, to, see where he at. Ain't got a phone call yet. So I'm not tripping.
Did you watch Keefe D's recent interview?
No, I don't, no.
Okay. There was a lot of things in there that people said that he lied about,
Like what?
Well, one of the things was that he lied and said that he wasn't gonna snitch on the dude from New York, Zip.
I don't know.
Yeah. That was just the thing that came to my head. But what else did he lie about? Man, he lied about a few things, man. I can't think of nothing off the top of my head. But yeah.
Well, Cam, you gotta realize, a lot of these guys use these platforms and come on the platforms to, can I use the word elevate who, what, or how they used to get down or whatever. I look at it like this: teach his own. If whatever that man going through, that's what that man going through. And if that man feel like he want to get on there and talk out the side of his neck or whatever, then that's on him, man. I don't pay attention to it. The only person I'm worried about is me. That's it. I don't pay attention. I don't look at none of that shit unless somebody send me a video. Look what such and such said. And I might voice my opinion on it, but I really don't care what these dudes out here doing, man. I can't worry about, if however he choose to run his business, that's his business.
Yeah,
Don't bother me.
It kind of gets old, always looking for stuff.
Real old. So, the shit they doing now is like they taking away from themselves. Like, getting on these cameras and just lying and want to be something you never was, want to be, a millionaire, you wasn't that. So, why get on this shit and act like you all that? You ain't never heard me brag or boast about my gang days or what I used to do or how I got down. You don't hear that shit.
Man, I had to ask you about this, man, because
Come on.
It happened a while ago, but recently more footage of it came out that I seen. So I don't know if you've seen it or not, but more footage came out of you and Charleston White having your incident, And at that time, I interviewed him about it, and he kind of talked about calling the police on you and everything, man. Can you kind of take me through your version of events of what happened?
Oh man, from the beginning?
Yeah.
Well, I called Charleston, I think 2 days before I took off to go to Texas. And he was talking like out the side of his neck about the gangbangers and I think he mentioned who was that? Nipsey and a few other guys. So I called him and like, man, you like really like being disrespectful with the gang shit. If you ain't ever lived it, you don't understand it. Whoop, whoop. He was like, I get you, OG. I ain't gonna do it no more. Okay, we good. So I get to Texas. So me and my people get in the car, put my shit together, what I thought I needed for that occasion, if you know what I mean. And we went to Texas. So when we get there and get to do the interview, me and my people is outside having a drink. And one of the girls that was with us, because she called and said, Charleston just came through that back door, and he put a pistol on the side of his chair. Damn, that's crazy. Okay. So I popped the trunk, we locked and load, we goes inside. I pull the drink out, I go in. Now I'm curious, if this how this nigga wanna get down, nigga, we can get down like that. So we go in, everybody saying what's up, yada yada. And I sit down and I'm just gonna be cool with it. I ain't tripping. I don't see the pistol. But then I'm sitting there and then I see his phone cocked out of the chair. So I'm getting a text. He filming live. It's live. So I'm like, okay. Now he looking for something. Then he get the yak, yak, yak all of a sudden. And when he stood up and said some shit, I don't remember, it was a while ago. Somebody, we ain't scared of you niggas. He tried to make it seem like it was a California, Texas thing. I got a gang of people from Texas. So now he got me pissed off. And it wasn't until he stood up, I stood up and met him right there, stopped him from his chair. You can't get to your pistol now. I'm not scared or whatever, but me and Charleston looking at each other and what do I get if I touch this dude? I don't get nothing out of it. I don't get nothing out of beating him up. In our days, I don't get a stripe for doing something to Charleston White. So, I mean, I'm ready to grab him by his throat. And I said something like, just say you want it. And that's all he had to say. If he would have said he wanted, I wouldn't have had a choice. I'd have grabbed him by his motherfucking neck and I'd have treated him real bad. And nobody, I truly believe, nobody inside of that building could have done nothing to me. I was ready. I mean, let me rephrase that. I could have got shot from the side. Because there's about 15, 20 people in there, not knowing what they got. But I know we strapped. I know if I make it to the trunk, all hell gonna break loose. You feel me? So I wasn't really tripping off that. So I just kept telling myself to sit down before I do something to him. Because being in front of him, he just talked. And I was gonna do something to him. But I wouldn't have got anything out of that. So the next day, we hit the campsite, and I'm like, where Charleston at? Oh, he ain't came yet. So an hour later, he pull up. So I go to him, you know how we do it, tap him on his ass. What's happening, baby? You all right? You good? Just to show him I ain't tripping. And he like, yeah, I'm good. So we talking. Come help me build this fire. Me and him go over there, build a fire for the kids and shit. He cool. That night, he get to talking crazy to the kids, called one of the little boys, and the guy that was running the show had an altercation with him. Charleston White never came back no more. So it was good that I didn't see him again after that. And shit.
Shit, I thought you were gonna wring his neck, bro. I was like, damn.
No, I really
like,
was.
Man.
And it wasn't to prove a point to anybody. it was just to say, you know, he quick to tell you that you're not gonna come to Texas. He quick to say, you niggas are this or you niggas are that. It wasn't about none of that to me. It was, my whole thing was, we all done seen these type of cats before, and I just wanted to be face to face with him. And once we got face to face, and once that altercation took off, and looking at him in his eyes, he wasn't ready for that. He wasn't ready for that. So I didn't want to be that dude or set myself back from being, because he said something like, oh, you going back to it or some shit like that, and I had to. Okay, he trying to get me. So when I heard he called the police because I had a pistol, I never pulled my pistol on him. My people never pulled out a pistol. He the one that had his shit sitting right there. So why would you call the mother police on me? Because I said I had it? I'd tell everybody, yeah, I got my mother pistol. And I told them. I didn't rush home. I went to the camp out with all the boys and all that, which was my reason for coming. I did what I had to do. I wasn't in no rush to go home.
So even around the kids, he was like that character he called a little kid. I don't even want to say it. The F word.
Yeah. And you know, right then I knew that Charleston White was different. But he don't speak on me. I don't speak on him. To me, you know, I listen to, it all depends on the person. You know, he wants you to argue with him. You know what I'm saying? And that builds him, because he ain't gonna let you talk. He just gonna continue to talk shit, continue. And it is what it is. It is what it is. I wish the dude well. Go on, handle your business.
I thought I'd take it back a little bit, man. You know, how did you start working with Death Row, and how did you kind of get involved with Suge at that point and everything?
Well, it wasn't until when I got out of prison in '88, Suge came to me, and I started fucking with Suge, and the next thing you know, he was doing this record company with Fernhill Records with Thomas Klein. No, I started with him with the Budweiser Superfest. He hired us to do the Budweiser Superfest, and we started from that. Then we started with Thomas Klein on Wilshire, and it went from there. From that, Death Row was born, and then so on.
You mentioned starting in '88, so this would have been around NWA?
NWA was out there, yeah.
Were you around Eazy-E and everybody at
We
the
seen
time?
Eazy-E at this, I forgot the name. It's they used to showcase new talent. I think it was on Sunset. And me and Suge used to go. I used to see Eazy there. And then I seen Eazy at the concert. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything ever happened when you were around or anything?
Uh, you know, that brother gone, man. But yeah, man, I met his son, so out of respect for his son, I don't speak on his daddy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Okay. I think you mentioned at one point that like Suge started to change and maybe become more bold or more gangster when kind of you and your brother and everybody kind of started backing him up more.
Well, he changed big time because my whole thing was Suge should have just stayed behind the scenes and regulated business. When Suge got involved with doing the homie shit, and you paying mother to do this exactly things, this here, and when he participated in that, the whole game changes. Now you CEO, thug, gangster, the homie, the whole nine. So it all changed. You know what I'm saying? So if he'd have just stayed CEO, the boss, it would have went a little further than what it did. You know, I think if Suge would have changed the homies from looking like thugs to looking like businessmen, we'd have been good. I said all of this shit, and it never happened. We would go to nightclubs, and we in lowriders and shit. You know, we in gangster cars, and he's in a mother Porsche. People was moving out the way for us, but shaking his hand. They, no, we don't want to with them. But hey, Suge, you know what I'm saying? So we were outcast everywhere we went. They didn't look at us like businessmen. They looked at us like gangbangers. And when I started feeling a certain kind of way, I was getting to my brother and them telling them, man, we looking like whoop 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 and whoop whoop whoop. And their favorite words was, Mom, you drink too much, you tripping off the wrong things. Okay, so that's how it pretty much went, you know?
Did you ever tell Suge everything? Did you ever pull him to the side like,
Me
yo,
and
man, let us handle this shit?
Me and Suge had a few conversations like that. And Suge wanted to do Suge. He was paying us, so, you know, pretty much what he did and what he said was bam. Quite a few homies checked him on certain things, got at him, and, you know, Suge did Suge. You know what I'm saying? Suge was enjoying that life. But, you know, it's a lot come with being that head mother, being that G mother, or even fitting in with the homies. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine Suge coming in and he with all these pet bulls. Not me, just I'm talking about all the guys he had, sharks. And he controlled everything and everybody with what he paid. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like I said, I can't make no excuses because we all bit into the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You know, somebody asked me, how in the did Suge Knight control all these different mentalities, all these gangsters? He didn't control them. We allowed what happened to happen. So it ain't Suge's fault, it's our fault. We let him do that. We let him say this. So if you're a millionaire and then you can slap this mother, he just killed 2 people for you and slap the shit out you and you don't do nothing. It's all about what he can give you or what you thinking he might do to you. But this is a real motherfucker you just slapped.
So you seen Suge slap a dude who?
No, I'm just saying, you know, a scenario. Just, I mean, we allowed him to control the narrative. We allowed him to control us. Homies doing shit that the average cat wasn't gonna do, that he might not have done, you know, without those cats behind you. So, I mean, we made it out to be what it was. It was, you know, hell.
Well, I guess you mentioned that every time you got mad at Suge, you just asked him for a check.
Well, when I bagged up and didn't see myself going in the direction that it was going, we started Let Me Ride Hydraulics. And that was a door opener for me. So I went to and run Let Me Ride and let my brother do Suge. Let them do that. So now I'm in my comfort zone. I don't have to go and whoop 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 and whoop one bam because I'm seeing what the is happening. And shit just started getting worse. So when my checks stopped coming, oh no, you know, me saying that, you know, some people probably was saying that I'm being a bully or I'm being whatever, but I had to give me a check. So seeing certain things, okay, all I got to do is argue with this nigga, get my check. Here we go, mother, you nigga. No, meet me at the office. Damn, that easy. With Dr. Dre's car. I stored it in my yard, locked the gate the whole nine. And, you know, even though it had my mechanic fix the car the whole nine, I'm rolling this mother. Next thing you know, man, can I get my check? I need my check so I can pay my partner for fixing this mother and storing it here at the house. They kept playing with me. So I said, it. You don't want to pay me? You won't get the car.
Keep the car.
Yeah, so I got a check. Oh, this ain't enough. So I kept the car with my mother check. So I'm arguing about a check. It's hard to get him on the phone. Said this. I took everything off of Dre's shit, the hydraulics, the rims, everything, and put it in my little homeboy car. It wasn't about me. Now I'm pissed off. Now I'm gonna show you. You know, don't play with me. So I stripped the car all the way down to the mother wire and put it all in my little homeboy car and called it a day. When they asked for the car, yeah, you can come get it. You need 4 tires. you need a steering wheel, motherfucker. Yeah, come get it. You ain't got no insides, so ain't no music, no nothing in it. So arguing with him after that, even after I did what I did to the car, I got a check and I let him come get it. I told him it was on rims. On the drums. It was sitting on the bricks in my driveway, in my yard, and nothing. My shit. So it was either get at me or what they did, left it alone. You know what I'm saying? Dre didn't say shit. I guess she'll put the car back together, whatever. I never seen the car again after that, but I continued doing Let Me Ride Hydraulics. They did them.
And you mentioned wanting to kind of like distance yourself from Death Row and Suge and everybody.
Yeah.
You know, was there any particular situation that made you like, yeah, this is too much for me?
Well, it was a lot of things. Homies arguing with the homies, and I seen the change in the homies, us snapping at each other, because at this time we wasn't nothing like what we turned out to be. We never fought to that extreme with each other. You know what I'm saying? We was always, if we had an issue, we gonna go over here, handle our business, and we good. We getting up. We drinking. All of that changed. The conversation changed. So it was time to get away from that. I wasn't going against the grain. It was just time to let that part go.
Time to move on.
Yeah, and I didn't like flying, so that was one of my reasons too. I hate a plane.
You never went on tour with them or
Yeah,
anything?
we went. I've been to New York. I've been to North Carolina. Like that. But when my brother Bunchu came home, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? The guy, one of my homies that used to go with us, rest in peace, Showboat, my playing partner, he was scared as a mother too, big old mother. But when he passed away, I just didn't want to do the planes no mother more. And nah, man, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So when the change came, it was time for me to change. And I was more damn, this nigga mob tripping than rocking and rolling with the dumb shit that was going on. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, right now today, you know, they still blame me for a lot of shit, but I was the motherfucker who was saying that this dumb shit. Y'all pay attention. See what's going on. Look at our motherfucking mob ring. Look at Suge mob ring. Look at how he treat a female opposed to how he treat the homies. And we doing whoop de whoop whoop for this situation. You know? At any given time, a homie could have went back to prison. We had homies that said this paycheck, this little ass check, and they was making more money robbing motherfuckers. Went back to what they were doing. Our purpose, my purpose, was to get the homies and get them out of that bullshit. Stop them from gangbanging. Stop them from robbing motherfuckers and get a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Have around all of these dudes. You know, my brother never had a paycheck up until that time. You know, and when all the smoke cleared, my brother gone. Now my brother, rest in peace. Now he's dead. This is how the homies flipped on each other. You feel me? And once that happened, it's all over. It's all over for me. I could no longer be a part of something that took my brother. You feel me? These cats don't understand that shit. My brother, if my brother was killed by Crips, and I'm cool. This is what we do. But the homies that kicking on the porch, that broke bread with my mama, no, impossible. So if this is what this took us to, I gotta disassociate myself all the way. All the way. Mom James, this, living like that. Everything that I did and how I represented and why I was a Paru was a fucking lie for me. Paru's killed my brother. How can I still sit here and throw up the pee? How can I put on my red rag and be a proud motherfucker to wear it? I can't. So one motherfucker said it's part of the game. No. Yeah, when you lose one of the homies, it's personal. When I lost my brother to one of the homies, it was personal. So when Death Row went from this to that, it wasn't worth even saying that I was a part of the shit. Now I'm in guilt because my brother was killed. And I told my brother while he was in prison doing a 9-year bid on attempted murder on the police, I got you when you come home. You're gonna be good. Don't worry about nothing. And I introduced him to Suge. No. That's my fault. It's my fault for not checking Suge the way he was getting down and how the homies was getting down, how everything flipped and switched. As one of the homies, we say with the business or however they, you know, what category you want to put it in, we never looked at it like we had leaders, shot callers, or no shit like that. We had big homies. So as one of those homies, I should have said something to this dude. I should have said, Suge, you out of line. I should have said, slow down. I should have said, knock it off. It should have been some discipline right there. But it wasn't. And the reason why I say it wasn't because when it get heated, go to the office and get a check. And I'm guilty of that. When he see I'm mad or getting at him or know something wrong, I got something for you. And I let it go. I didn't give a what the situation was. Homies start stabbing each other. Got a check, I let it go. And even them, you know, they at war. And now here we go. I got a check for you. I got a check for you. Now it's squashed. But right here is still there. My nigga, you almost killed me. My nigga, you almost this. My nigga, you almost ran me over. My nigga, you talking about my mama? My nigga, you my bitch. Internal like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, all these people on the outside looking in don't know what the fuck it was buck wild like that. You know what I'm saying? But I was smart. You know, I tried to explain to my brother his reasons for getting out of it, but loving the lifestyle, loving the money was good, and never had it like that. Never had it like that. Never seen the places that he went to. Never enjoyed life that way. So, nigga, I ain't walking away from this shit. And we all get trapped like that. So I understood that part, but I'm gonna bag the fuck up. Then it got to a point where, you know, I'm sitting at the up at Let Me Ride. You know, this is my spot. I'm hanging out. I'm bringing my bras here the whole nine. Now they calling my mama to come get me so they can lock the gate. Nigga, what kind of shit is this? This how we getting down? So from that point, it's you niggas. So people just don't understand how bad it was and how we started to hate and kill each other behind the dollar. The dollar.
So it was all over. You guys were fighting over money? Like everybody wasn't getting enough money?
Well, you know, guys didn't understand why, and everybody doing the same thing. And some guys didn't understand, well, how he, how they get more money than me and we doing the same shit. You ask me to knock a motherfucker out or go check this nigga, why am I getting a little check? Why they making that money? We doing the same shit, which is understandable. Everybody is doing the same shit. But I guess he went by the ranking of who was who and who got, you know, this and that, whatever the case might be, man. You know, we just felt on, it tore the family up. It tore the hood up. It fucked us up, you know?
Going through all this with Suge and everything, man. You know, I seen there was a time where some guys were planning on kidnapping him.
Yeah.
You know, can you kind of talk about that? What all happened with that?
Oh, man. Some of the guys was talking about, well, it was mentioned that they ain't getting their money. Let's kidnap this motherfucker and get our money. Somebody out of that crew went back and told him. When they told him, he calls Reggie Sr. Reggie Sr. sent Reggie Jr. to pretty much oversee all the other shit, and that's how Reggie Jr. came about. Because apparently Suge was nervous and maybe thought motherfuckers was gonna do it.
And how did it not happen?
Little Reggie came and certain individuals were saying that ain't gonna work, we ain't gonna do that. And, you know, those that spoke was the voice, so it wasn't gonna happen.
It was shut down. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, going through all this with Suge, man, you know, was there any times where you had to step in to like say, I mean, besides maybe that time, but were there other times where you had to kind of step in to stop dudes from trying to do something to him or something? Or
No, well, at that point, that was Neckbone Bunching them job. Wherever they went, we had a issue at, what they call that, Roxbury or some shit, when we had a fight with the Rams football team.
the Rams, yeah.
Yeah. And that time, you know, we under the impression that these cats is trying to jump him. When Suge came in and called us, and we came out there, it wasn't no talking. It wasn't no talking after that.
Well, can you take me through it? Can you take me through the whole story?
We in the club, we jamming like a mug. We got some females with us, all the homies together, and we Suge whistled. Buntry called everybody out. Buntry, George, Neckbone, everybody there. Well, but everybody there. Everybody comes outside. So along this wall right here, Suge, I think he had the pink Mercedes or the 911 or one right here, and all the football team, the Ram football players is right next to him. So when we got out there, Suge is telling one of the guys some shit, and they talking, oh, you whack, that's why you didn't make the team, yada yada. And when Suge took off, everybody else took off. And we was standing on cars beating the shit out of them. We beat the shit out of them. And the police pulled up. And one of the twins is still beating the shit out of that big mother, sliding him up under the car. And they had to turn their lights on for him to look up and see that, yeah, it's us, mother, the police. And everybody was standing on the side outside in front laughing because he was in beast mode. He was in beast mode. And after that, all the Suge altercations or whatever was with Buntry and all of them. I didn't have to endure none of that shit. I didn't have to, you know, me and Buntry used to conversate, man, you gotta stop this shit. Wasn't no talking to him. He in full mode now. He's straight gangster now. Ain't no telling him nothing now. So.
Well, you remember what year this was? Like the early 90s? And did you know any of them?
Any of who?
The Rams players.
No, I didn't know none of them motherfuckers. I didn't know. They know who they is. They should be honest and get on the goddamn thing and say, yeah, we remember that day. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we had a lot of fun at the beginning doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? When we was on Wilshire, 5555 Wilshire Boulevard, we on the 12th floor. We look down, you see Carol's O'Connor, he had a little restaurant over there. And we was doing so much shit in that goddamn building, man. We had a ball. And we did a lot of shit. A lot of shit I ain't proud of, but we did a lot of shit. We went a lot of places fucking with shit. We went to different places, different locations, and had to prove a point. That was the most fun about it, when we actually got paid for what we was supposed to get paid for. It definitely kept you sharp, your tools sharp, going to Ruthless Records. We did a lot of shit, man. But at the end of the day, it was all for nothing. It was all for nothing. Not one of the homies came out of it rich. None of us owned a house. Not a goddamn thing. We went in and came out the same other way. So we up big time. But can't blame nobody but us. I don't blame Suge. I don't blame none of that. I blame us. Well, I take responsibility for myself. If I could have did it all over again, I would have been on his neck. I would have stayed on his neck. This is not the purpose. This ain't how we supposed to do it. We in this business. You know, then Tupac gone. So after that happened, this shit is over. And it went downhill from there.
That's pretty much what I think that everybody kind of agrees on, that after Tupac passed it.
And you know, people tell me I'm tripping, I hated Tupac. I have no reason to hate that brother. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know him like that. I didn't hang out with him like that. I didn't hang out with Snoop. I didn't hang out with none of them cats. I'm a gang member. I don't want to hang at death row because Snoop and them there. I didn't indulge that way. If I got a phone call and it's whoop de whoop, on my way. Period.
Why do you think people think that you hate Tupac?
Because when Tupac got killed, I truly believe that Tupac shouldn't have got killed that way. You got 15, 20 Parus in a building. For one, we don't rack pack. We don't do this shit. You rack packing a mother. And then you ain't paying attention to the repercussion of what just happened here. You ain't paying attention. And this dude pulls up and this brother get killed. You know what I'm saying? You got too many homies here to deal with somebody on your playing field. Dealing with a crip. Y'all bloods. Y'all with the business. That ain't Tupac's job. It wasn't his job. So when I said that Tupac shouldn't have touched that man, he shouldn't have. There's too many homies right there to allow that to happen. Suge, you, Pac, get the fuck out of here. We got this. And that's where the homies dropped the ball at. But when I said, how the fuck I'm wrong? Oh, you must have hated Tupac. No, I didn't hate Tupac. I didn't believe what I've done in my neighborhood. Just because he has money, he can walk in here and say, I'm from the hood. No, it don't work like that. And if motherfuckers don't understand the dynamics of that, you ain't just finna walk in here and represent this because you come with Suge or behind Suge or you coming with your money. This shit, we done lost a lot of homeboys. We done had people killed dear to us. And he can come in here and just be a homie. Don't come to the hood. You ain't breaking bread with all the homies in the hood. So I felt that he wasn't from my neighborhood. And, you know, some of those guys that he was at death row with believed that, yeah, he the homie. What the fuck? You know, Tupac passed away. We got a homie that put a picture of Tupac on his body. I asked him, where's what you call him? Where's what you call him? Where you should have mirrors all over your ass. Why the fuck you put him on you and all the other homies that passed away? Why the fuck would you put Tupac on your body? It didn't make sense to me. And we've been gangbanging and living this life. You just met this dude. You don't even know him. 7 months. Tupac was with Death Row about 7, 8 months. That ain't long enough. That ain't long enough.
Do you feel like being part of a gang is something kind of maybe Tupac might maybe always kind of wanted and he just never kind of came across that situation?
I think he crossed the situation before because I think, you know, the guys that he was hanging with before Tupac conducted his business. Tupac was with the business. You know what I'm saying? Father shooting and whatever. We already know that from his past history. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is when you come to Compton and you don't know nobody. Now you're meeting all these guys just getting out of jail. That don't make you from the hood. You know what I'm saying? So what Tupac saw out of them, Buntry and all of them, oh yeah, these some real motherfuckers right here. I'm with them. MOB. They should have told him, no.
Could Tupac have done anything to gain your respect or to be from the hood?
No, I think over time, that probably would have manifested. Over time, that would have been like, okay, he hanging with the homies, he on the block with the homies, he whoop the whoop with the homies. Okay, you know, Tupac is guilty by association. He died that way. You know what I'm saying? It's a very big difference, man. It's a very big difference. And all these old ass niggas that live in this planet and live that life act like they don't understand that shit. It's totally different.
I think you were at Club 662 the night he got killed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what was your version of events that happened that night?
Well, before we even got to Vegas, we was already hearing that, you know, these guys are supposed to show up. You feel me? So we was already on deck. Everybody was in place for whatever. And when they pulled up in the Cadillac, they pulled up, if you know the street, it's a bus stop right next to 662. They was right there. And I told, one hand dog, I told one of the homies, it was a long time ago, I told one of the homies that the South Sides was here. From what I hear, how they said, if you'd have parked in the parking lot, it would have been a problem because it was too many people there for that car to think that they'd have got out of that with one pistol. Wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. But, I mean, everybody can tell their story how they want it. I was there, I saw it. You ain't finna do that. I heard Keefe say, we was finna pull in the back and whoop, whoop. No, you wasn't. No, you wouldn't. Don't even front like that.
Keefe D said he wanted a one-on-one fight with Orlando and Tupac. What was it like when you guys were waiting at Club 662?
What was it like?
Yeah.
We was just gonna get
Was
a
it
head
quiet?
up.
Was everybody quiet, talking?
No, it was shit. We was just waiting on them. I was gonna, Suge my homeboy, man. Shit, we never had no problems. You know what I'm saying? And he know what I stand for. So I was gonna let them get a head up. You know what I'm saying?
I never heard that.
Okay. Yeah, that's what he said, that's what they went to the club for.
And why would he, if they went to the club for that? No, they came before the MGM shit happened. They came to 662 before that.
Really?
That was before that. Suge was already there. Let me wait. Might be wrong. When they popped up, no, because we didn't get no phone call that Tupac got shot or none of that shit. They was already gone. They pulled up, then it was hours later after they drove the fuck off that happened. They didn't pull up. He couldn't have did it after the fight because the shooting happened after the fight, about an hour after. So that motherfucker ain't pulled up to catch up fate.
Well, his version of events is they went to Club 662 to look for you guys because they heard that Tupac was going to be there and you guys were going to be there. They hung out there for a little bit. Tupac didn't show up. They left. When they were leaving, some women started screaming, "Tupac, Tupac!" And that's when they ran into him.
No, I ain't gonna go back and forth with that. But no, even if he wasn't finna come into 662, man, and demand a head up fade, demand a nigga we gotta get down type of shit on Crips. You ain't finna come in here like that. It's too many active motherfuckers, not only from my hood, but from everywhere else, that wasn't gonna, it wasn't gonna happen. I don't give who do what. It wasn't gonna happen.
I mean, I think everybody pretty much believes he's lying. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it can be an exaggeration. That might be his truth. Because I went in the car with him. But if he thought that was gonna happen, man, you playing with your life. That night you would have been playing with your life. Period. If I was in that situation and I know it's a fucking club full of Crips in it, I'm not going in there. I'm not suicidal. He wouldn't have been good for that night. It wouldn't have worked that way. So he could say what the he want to say. He know that wouldn't have happened. You can see a lot of these cats out here pretend like they ain't scared of shit. I'm living this life this way. This is how I'm rocking. Bullshit, man. The average gang member, the average homie ain't doing it like that. They not getting down like that. Who the fuck is you lying to? And if your whole hood know you, man, the hood should be able to stop that bullshit. Niggas, stop fronting like that. Stop playing that gangster shit. It only gets you killed. You feel me? So, man, we gotta be honest with ourselves. That's bullshit. You ain't finna go in no mother room with a gang of Bloods or Crips and nigga come outside, nigga, we need a head up. You think that's gonna happen?
No. Absolutely not.
I don't give a what side you from. It ain't going down.
You know, how do you hear about Tupac getting shot and Suge getting shot?
It pissed me off because one thing, living our life and the way we living and our purpose of doing what we was doing was to protect that young man, was to protect Suge. And I think the homies dropped the ball on that, allowing Tupac to interfere with Compton street shit. It didn't have nothing to do with him. It wasn't about Tupac in Orlando. Orlando had an issue with one of my little homies. So my little homie was right there and saw him. My little homie should have took off. And the big homie should have sat there and made sure nobody else or none of his people jump in. That's supposed to have been the get down. But it didn't go that way. It didn't go that way. Tupac took off, and after Tupac took off, niggas say, why did Orlando shoot at him? Man, I'm not finna go back to the motherfucking hood and a rapper just took off on me. I'm not finna proclaim to be a gangbanger or a gangster or with the business and a rapper just took off on me. I can't go back to the hood with that because I know I'm gonna have to get down with these niggas for laughing. That I just got my nose busted by a rapper. Ain't happening, not on my watch.
So you feel like Orlando would have been laughed at and had serious problems in the hood if he didn't do something?
If they wouldn't have said nothing to him that day, it would have been a lot of talk that Tupac took off on him and Tupac's still moving around. If that wouldn't have happened, if Tupac wouldn't have got shot that night, Tupac whooped the whoop. And, you know, a lot of cats would have found that, like, you let Tupac, whether it's a joke or not, you let Tupac hit you, nigga. Go on about your business. And he was with the business. So, already, nigga, I'm not finna let you get away with that. Be honest, I'd have did the same motherfucking thing. You is not finna get away with that one, homeboy. I don't give a who rap, how you rap, or whatever. I'm finna come get you. I got you. I don't have a choice. And that's how he felt.
Yeah, you know, Orlando, you know, from what we've learned about Orlando, you know, he had a pretty big history. You know, he was accused of, doing some things to some other people. He died in a shootout.
Everybody is accused of doing shit to other people. He wasn't a talking tale because everybody didn't know. Everybody knew his get down, but didn't know his business. Everybody knew his get down. And he was a youngster, but he was with it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you got his type all over the place, spread it out from every neighborhood. And, you know, I can't take nothing from him because he was a Crip. I can't take nothing from him because of what he did. I'd be a hypocrite to say he should have went to jail for that. No. You want to be a part of this gang life shit, this is what we expect. And shit like that happens. I understand that part of it. You feel me? Even if you out there like that and you gangbanging and what they call it today, ops or some shit like that, and you on your ops, you shoot at me, but you missed. He know you shot at him, and he come back and pop your ass. You can't be mad at that. Nigga, you shot at me first. We game banging. I'll catch you one day. So, I mean, it's just crazy, man. But the man should have been still alive if the homies just would have handled that part of it. Suge, y'all out of here, man.
Suge ended up going to jail over it. Pac dies over it. You know, it was really bad for Death Row.
It was already bad for Death Row at that point. I mean, it was already on some we wrong type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And it just, it got worse and worse and worse. And at the rate that Death Row was moving, this is what was supposed to happen. Out of control.
Well, Tupac gets killed, and you guys go back to Compton. You know, what happens when you guys get back to Compton?
Well, after Tupac got shot that night, a lot of the homies was already on their way back from after 662 shut down. And motherfuckers already knew what was going on that same night. And the retaliation and the shooting and the constant going back and forth intensified. And I think it was about a week, maybe even longer, it died down. And I think when it wasn't a funeral or nothing for Tupac, I think everybody kind of like woosah, like no funeral, no kickback, no. It's like, but a lot of cats got involved with that only because it was rival gangs going at it, Bloods and Crips going at it. Niggas didn't jump on that bandwagon because it was Tupac that got shot. Our hood felt like it was Tupac got shot on our watch. We ain't got a choice. But other people was jumping on that bandwagon because it was a Blood and Crip thing, or because it was made out of a Blood and Crip thing.
Now, I mean, besides being just, Bloods and Crips, did you guys always have an issue with Southside, or did it just start because of the Tupac situation?
We never had a situation with Southside like that. I mean, they Crips, we Bloods. They in Compton, we in Compton. I mean, we shoot at each other here and there. We fight here and there, whatever, but nothing like the Tupac shit.
You mentioned a lot of people think that you don't like Tupac. Do you have like a favorite memory of hanging out with him, or is there anything that sticks out?
We was at the casino one day. We was at the table playing, I think they was shooting dice or whatever. And he gave me a couple chips. I had lost my money and he gave me a few chips. And like I said, me and Tupac never like, come on, my nigga, let's go over here. Because I didn't smoke weed. I was a drinker like a mother, but I never smoked weed. So they were different. I'm different. I wasn't trying to hang with those cats because I'm on the gangbanging tip. They on the artist shit. I'm not finna hang out with the artists. I'm not finna kick it with them like that. The way Bunch and them did. You know what I'm saying? They at the studio, they getting high and smoking and drinking, and I didn't do that. I didn't do that. So, I have no reason to hate the brother. I just called it what it was. You're not from the hood.
How did you feel when he popped up with the tattoo?
Why? Why the fuck this nigga got a tattoo of the mob on him? And I ain't even got a mob tattoo. Why the fuck this nigga get one? So, but it wasn't shit I could do about it unless we all get to fighting each other. We was already up at that time. So it wasn't shit I can do.
Did any of your homies approve of the tattoo?
All of them probably did. All of them probably did. You know what I'm saying? I don't see, and I never heard Buntry say, "Man, I'm mad at that motherfucker. He let that nigga get a tattoo." There wasn't none, at this point, none of the homies was looking at it like the 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 right thing to do or say about it. The homies wasn't looking at it from a gang banging point. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was getting their little money, so everybody was cool with what was going on. They was cool with that shit. I wasn't cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Long as I was able to do what the I wanted to do, y'all leave me alone. Go on, do y'all thing.
Was Tupac claiming mob? I mean, obviously he had the tattoo,
I have never been
but
around Tupac, and Tupac was, "What's up, Mob Jazz? What's up, Mob? Mobbing, woo, 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 woo." Never. I went around him like that. So I don't think we could have had a conversation like that. I don't think.
I think you've talked about Tupac coming to the hood with Suge a few times.
Yeah.
Were you ever around when that happened?
Yeah, we at his mama house. Yeah, he pulled up a couple times. It was never, "What's up, blood?" It was Tupac. I never heard him say it. Now, if he, when hanging with Buntry and Suge and them, going to Calhoun or going to up at the office or whatever, and they interacting like that, that's on them. Do that shit at the office. But he never came to the hood and stood in the hood and broke bread, popped no bottles and none of that shit. I ain't never seen it. So, no, I'm just saying I didn't look at him as if he was one of us. We done lost too many people to say he's one of us, because Suge brought him to the hood, because he from Oakland or New York or one of them. He never hung with us like that, and it wasn't good. So if Tupac came to the hood and everybody went to jail, you only going to jail because you guilty by f***ing with us. You guilty by association. Other than that, you ain't guilty because you one of the homies.
Well, we touched on Tupac putting the tattoo on him and being around the mob, but nowadays it's a little more common with dudes from out of town claiming LA gangs. And one thing I recently seen is that Lil Wayne is from Mob Piru. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
I guess a guy named Terminator is the one that made it happen.
Term, that's that's Buntry's brother-in-law, my nephew's uncle, Lil Alton's uncle. Yeah, Term is real good with, he know a lot of them, basketball players, all that. If Lil Wayne is saying it and hanging out, and I think he came to Death Row with that one time, representing the mob, but I didn't look at it like that. I don't look at it like that. You're a rich motherfucker, stay rich. You got out the hood, stay out the hood. Why would you bring yourself back to a situation you are not ready for? At that time it was so much going on. All these cats want to represent and be from a hood. They want to be solidified. They want that stamp. It's not authentic if you get it like that. If you coming in the hood and trying to be a gangster in a week, in 6 months, it don't happen that way. It don't happen like that. So him and Term do have a good rapport with each other. So that's between him and Term. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got a problem with it.
You mentioned Lil Wayne going to Death Row back then. So back then this would have been the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So around when Cash Money first got on, that's when this
No,
happened?
he was already before. He was already doing Cash Money. I don't think it was before that. He wouldn't know anybody at that time when he was saying that. Uh,
Do you know around what time or year this happened?
Tupac was still here. Let's say 94, 95, somewhere around there. When they came up to death row, they came in a big ass bus. So I don't know. I think it was around that time. I'm not sure. So I'm not going what you call him, but when he came up there, he was already established as Lil Wayne. So it wasn't no, and I don't know when he came out, but Turn was with them for a minute. Yeah, so Turn he was hanging out for quite a while. So I can get the time. No, I can't call him. But yeah, he with all of them.
So you believe Lil Wayne has been a blood ever since the 90s?
I didn't say that. I'm saying he couldn't have been from the mob. When he first came to death row, he wasn't claiming no mob. Now, since Turn been doing his thing since in the mid '90s, into the '90s, because he with the basketball player guy. I don't want to mention his name, but Term already knew all of those cats. He was already dealing with them cats. So when did Lil Wayne start rapping?
They blew up in the late 90s.
Okay. Now Lil Wayne was trying to fuck with Suge at that time, trying to, I think, come to death row.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know what they was doing. I didn't what you call him with that part.
How does something like that happen? Like how does the dude from out of town get to a point where he's actually a Blood or a Crip or banging an LA set? How does something like that happen? Like how does the dude from out of town get to a point where he's actually a Blood or a Crip or banging an LA set?
Well, you got a lot of guys come from, different states, and they move in the hood, and they get the feel of the homies and hanging in the hood, and then there's come a time where you got to prove yourself with the homies and all that. Once they pass that test, then they become one of the homies. You know what I'm saying? It's different from guys that live in the hood already, born and raised right there. It's different, but there's a lot of cats coming from Mississippi, like my little bro Hen Dog that did the logo for Death Row. He's from Chicago. But when he came to the hood and introduced himself in the hood, Lil Hen lived with us. And from that, him and my little brother T. Rue was together all the time. So Hen Dog automatically is from the mob. He represented, he doing his thing, he home. So he's accepted. And a lot of these cats from different states are accepted. A lot of these, what we have today, OG gangsters, like straight killers, they weren't born and raised in California. Some of these cats come from different states. You know what I'm saying? They mama came to California to make a better life. And they're in California living this life.
Would someone like Lil Wayne or Tupac have to get jumped in also?
Well, I don't know where these cats getting this jumped in shit. We didn't have that in our neighborhood. I ain't never jumped in a motherfucker. I ain't never seen a motherfucker in my hood get jumped in. I don't even remember this hood day shit. I don't remember kicking it, eating barbecue for no hood day. Not in no 80s, not in no 90s. I don't remember this shit. So I don't know where the fuck I was at when they was jumping niggas in. Motherfuckers had to go handle their business. It wasn't no getting. Motherfuckers had to handle their business, man. Those that didn't handle their business, stay over there, gonna sell your little dope, your little weed or whatever, and get robbed from time to time and shit like that. But other than that, man, no. I don't remember the jump in shit. If anybody from my hood could say they got jumped in that motherfucker, here first.
That's crazy. Damn.
You had to go handle your business.
So it wasn't about being jumped in. It wasn't about
Go handle your business. You gonna go take care of business. We got cats in the hood that ain't never did a drive by, walk by, talk by. We had cats in the hood just in the hood because they live there. We got guys that moved from on this side of town to our hood and start repping our neighborhood. I mean, it happens everywhere. But all of this, okay, y'all go and jump him in and y'all whoop his ass. I don't remember that. So, I mean, they can tell me that that's what we did and how we did it. That's new for me.
Interesting. I seen this clip on Instagram, and it was where you kind of talked about the Menace to Society movie, and when MCA killed the dude, and you kind of took it
I was
personal.
mad in the mother.
You was mad, yeah.
I was mad in the mother. But that's the movies. Boys in the Hood, Colors, Menace to Society. All of those movies made me want to gangbang, made me want to go do something to somebody. All of those movies, Straight Outta Compton, it don't give you the real shit and it pisses you off. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna tell a story the right way. Don't make it seem like you was the baddest motherfucker on this planet and you getting down like that. That ain't what everybody see today. So yeah, those movies piss me off, man.
Are you referring to Dr. Dre? Because a lot of people
No, I'm
believe
referring
that
to the movies, how they portrayed certain individuals. Now with Dr. Dre, can you imagine Dr. Dre hitting one of the homies at the office?
no.
No. So that's a prime example. Don't put no shit out there like that. Didn't happen. Never would happen. Dre wouldn't be here today if that would have happened.
Yeah, a lot of people were mad about the movie. They were also mad about the Eazy-E part.
Well, Eazy, like I said, half of the shit that they were saying that Eazy got beat up at the office and this and that happened, I don't remember that. I never heard that. I had never heard nobody speak on no dumb shit like that. So I don't know where people creating they got to, just come up with the dumbest shit. The only thing that I know that we've done is we went to Ruthless Records. He wasn't there. But we saw Jerry and we dealt with Jerry. So Eazy wasn't there, and then that's when he came out with his because they didn't find no contracts of Dre and Miss Chalet. They was at his house, his office. So it wasn't none of that. It wasn't no confrontations with Eazy-E. It wasn't no, come on, let's get him type shit. You know what I'm saying? So everything that they say happened, it probably happened. I wasn't at Death Row. I didn't see it. But I never heard it. If I didn't hear it, it didn't happen.
I got to ask you this, man. I was a kid, and I was probably like in high school or something. I had a friend of mine who was a Pyru, and Ice Cube drops the song "Today Was a Good Day," and in the song, I'm sure you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Around the third verse, he brings up the blue rag, and the red rag drops. And my friend that I knew was a little bit upset about that. Is that something that you know about?
Anybody that's gangbanging would have been upset about it. But here's a time where everybody is representing where they from or what they claiming. I never heard Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, or none of those guys say a hood that they from. It's always Crip. Cuz this, cuz that. Have you ever, where Dre from? Where Ice Cube from?
Yeah, never banged the hood.
I never known and don't know of Ice Cube from no hood. But, just like everywhere else, a lot of motherfuckers run on the Crip side because there's a whole bunch of them.
Well, I also believe Ice Cube grew up in the 90s. or the hundreds, or in that area of South
I
Central?
don't know where he grew up, but if you can find one person to say, yeah, that's the little homie, then that's cool. But that nigga's a millionaire. I ain't got no business. I mean, I don't give a fuck what he doing, but he wasn't a gangbanger. Anybody can claim this shit. Anybody can put a gang tattoo on. Anybody can wear that shit. Anybody can wear a blue rag, man. Anybody can wear a red rag. That shit don't matter. That ain't gonna save your life. That ain't gonna make you more gangster than what you are when that motherfucker confronts you with that pistol. So what Dre, Snoop, and all of these other dudes is doing, more power to them. Come on, man. Come on, man.
You know, I did want to kind of get, take it back a little bit, man. For the people who might not know, I'm saying, I do have a big audience in Chicago that, I'm saying, might not be as familiar, I'm saying. Can you kind of like paint the picture for us what it was like for you growing up in Compton?
Oh. I moved in Compton in 73, 74. I was in the second grade when we moved to Compton. I think third grade. I was tested the first day of school. Some kids came picking on me. I was a new kid in the neighborhood, which are my homeboys today. I left school, hopped the gate, ran from them, hopped the gate, went home, got 2 butcher knives, hopped the gate, went back to school, recess time, and just started chasing them with 2 butcher knives.
This is in the second grade?
Third grade.
Third grade?
Yeah. After that, third grade. Before that, I hit my teacher, Miss Wiry, in her nose. She was dragging me to the office. I swung and hit her in the nose. Then that altercation with the knives got me kicked out of Compton Unified School District in the third grade. So I had to go to Palmer Lee in LA. I had to go with my grandfather now. And my pops used to take me back and forth. So being in the hood, like I say, day one you ain't gonna do that to me type of shit. Other than that was fair. I had a pops that was, let's say, disrespectful. The only thing that I learned from my father was to be disrespectful. Not accept certain things in your life, and it is what it is. So I was a very, very aggressive kid. I got into a lot of shit. I did a lot of dumb shit. As a kid, let's say 79, 78, really got active into the hood shit.
How old were you?
78, 79, 65, 70, 13, 14. Got into our days it was fighting the Crips, doing this and doing that type of shit. Then in 1980, when I got shot, damn, they playing with guns, like for real. So this shit we getting from these burglaries and shit, we gonna use these motherfuckers. So they basically introduced us and told us that we gotta step our game up. And from 1980 all the way until just now, I have this thing for guns. And I used them, but I used to try all kind of weapons. I cut a half a bat to about like this, put the hole in it, that's me, and put the string in it, and I would go to the swap meets or what have you and use those to fight with, just taking off them up. Little bit of everything, man.
You mentioned being shot. Can you kind of take me through what happened the times you were shot?
Oh man, crazy. 1980, me and the homies kicking it on Pine Street, and we got 3 Crip niggas rolled through the hood on bikes. So what is this? So they banging, but they going back toward Long Beach. We get on the bikes and we going toward them. So I'm on the handlebars. Nigga, hurry up. What the f you doing? I got Killer Rob riding me. They turned a full circle, put their bikes on the kickstand, and start dumping. When they start shooting, I'm on the handlebars. I get shot right here. I fall back. Rob was riding the bike, so I'm like in his arm. This mother pretty much let me go and the bike and took off. And as he was running, he got shot in the ankle. And the blood was just squirting. So I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, oh shit, I'm finna die. They got me, I'm finna die. And my friend at the time, his mama, you ain't gonna die. She sticking the towel in the hole, trying to stop the bleeding.
How close to your heart was it?
Shit, I got hit right here.
Shit.
And what happened with me is the bullet went up under my armpit and it stuck and lodged in my back. And that was some cold ass pain. Feeling it, I didn't. But when I realized it, that I was shot, you felt a little warmth and the shit was just coming out. So, and this is the first time I ever been shot. So I panicked. It was like, oh man, I'm shot. And his mama sticking the towel in my hole. And I'm like, damn, I'm bleeding all over the place. And I think it was Hank, start laughing. Man, you ain't finna die. Nigga, get my mama. Call my mama. And the ambulance came, took me out, went to the hospital. The funniest thing is after they did what they did, I'm sitting there, I got all these machines on me, and I'm laying there. My mom's bring all her church people, and they around my bed praying and all of this. You know, the monitor with the little doo-doo-doo, I unplugged the shit. And when everything went doo, the little buzzer thing go off, one of the guys that in her church fell on me, he passed out. And I was laughing and they was mad at me for that.
They thought you were dead.
They never came back to the hospital to see me again. The second time, I got hit in my lower back, 4 or 5, and we was at a party, and these cats get to tripping. This one cat is in the wheelchair, get the gang banging. You in a mother wheelchair, homie? Come on. But he banging hard, so I mushed him by the face and pushed him over. And I guess his homies didn't like that. We gets in the vehicle, we taking off, we hear the pop, we get out, pop, and when we got back in and closed the door, I got hit. Bullet went through the back of the vehicle and struck me in the back. And I was just like, oh shit. And
That's a big bullet.
yeah, and everybody was like, damn, what happened? I'm hit, homie. And true story, my homeboy Money was in the car with me, and I just told him, give me a cigarette. I'm used to this shit now. Give me a cigarette. So I started smoking a cigarette. So I'm telling them when we get into Martin Luther King, this is how we got to act so I don't be laying in the hallway. Because you go to Martin Luther King, you're going to sit in the hallway for a few hours. I don't give a what. So I get in there and I'm on them and they see all the blood and shit. And I'm like, I'm finna die, man. I got to go to sleep. And they, don't go to sleep, don't go to sleep. So the nurse runs from around the desk, they get the gurney, they come get me, they take me straight in the room. So when they going through my back, looking at my back and shit, and they come with this machine. I don't know what the they doing. The police coming there. And the police coming there with some of the cats that was at this party. I guess asking them if I'm the one that did the shooting, and asked me if do I recognize them from shooting me. We was in the car. We don't know. So I went through that one. Compton swap meet. We at home, I'm eating a bowl of cereal. The little homies come running, pull up, and say, the homies fighting Samoans at the swap meet. I'm in my pajamas, run, jump in the car, go up there, little homie driving. Next thing I know, I see like 4 Samoans coming from over here. Is that them? I don't know. Little homie, like he's scared. So this little short guy, little bitty mother, little boy, boom, boom. I still got the buckshots in my hands and all that shit. I got 8 buckshots still in my hand right now today. You can feel them. He just sprayed us, sprayed the car. So now they take off. I'm telling the homie to drive. This little mother panicking, oh. So I fired on him. Wow. So when I fired on him, we hit the little curb of where the swap meet at. And now the security come out, they got their guns out. We on the ground. I'm bleeding, my t-shirt. You can see where I got hit with the bucks. And the little homie on some, man, I didn't know what to do. They put us in a little box at the swap meet and got to talking shit. So I got to talking shit to them. And they talking about the ambulance is on you in the ambulance. And at the end of the day, they maced the whole goddamn thing. They had us locked in and just started spraying mace in the motherfucker because niggas wasn't cooperating with them. So after that, me and my little homeboy, rest in peace, Crazy, I got hit right here. We was doing some stupid shit. Took a nigga shit out of his Volkswagen, and we walking up Stockton, not even tripping on motherfuckers coming back, and they start dumping, and when we started to take off, right through my pants, and it is what it is.
Well, you only got grazed that time.
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
And well, it's all good though. I mean, it was to me, and be honest, it was part of the job. Nigga, don't expect that this can't happen to you if you out there getting down like that. And we took everything with grace, you know.
You mentioned the Compton swap meet. The Compton swap meet is in your guys' hood, right?
It's on Bullets, yeah. And we got some apartments across the street right there, but pretty much where all the homies go, yeah.
How did it work with your hood being right there in the Compton swap meet? Being there, got to be a lot of enemies coming through there all the time.
Well, you had Palm Oaks. You had, if you wanted to fight, that's all you had to do is go to the swap meet. Everybody went to the swap meet for a fresh T-shirt. So if you wanted to fight, you had action. Go to the swap meet. Some cats went in there and didn't wear their colors or they could pretend how they want to. I done seen a lot of them come through there. They wasn't looking for no problem. Some of them came in there, blued up, representing, ready to fight. And you had that on a daily. But that's why my been getting killed in that parking lot since it was Sears parking. Since Sears was the department store there. Motherfuckers was going at it then. So
what do you think was like your craziest situation you seen there?
Seen at the swap meet?
Yeah. Or went through?
I had a homeboy, rest in peace, Big Frank. We used to call him Six Flags. He was about maybe 6'4", 6'5". Me and Big Frank used to go to the swap meet because our house was right around the corner from the swap meet. Bullets and Orchard. Then the first block was ours. So we 5 minutes away. And we went to the swap meet this one particular time, and it was like 5, maybe 7 Crips. I don't know if they knew Big Frank. I don't know if I'm getting ready, because I know we finna fight. And he walk in and got these bandanas all over his head and shit. And he walking, and they went, phew, like, we ain't with that one. I'm looking at this big motherfucker like, man, what happened? And we just kept walking, doing what we was doing. It was so crazy because some people go there to look for a fight. Some of the homies did. Some of the other side too was ready if you brung that to them. So you knew you was gonna get a good fade. Niggas done told the swap meet up, but this one particular time it didn't happen. Everybody in Compton know Big Frank, and they understand why. But he didn't have no sense, man. And that was a first. Any of the homies I ever hung out with never got that response. We gonna fight. Big Frank, nope.
They gave it to him.
Didn't want to with him. And he used to walk up Compton Boulevard on a daily with his rags the whole nine. Man, what the is you doing, man? I don't give. And he was killed. Got into it with the police. Took him to jail for gangbanging and whatever, and was killed that morning as he was released from state custody. So him and his baby mama was killed. Yeah.
Well, we talked about you getting shot and everything, man, a few different times. Is there any situations where, like, you gave somebody a pass or somebody gave you a pass and something that probably could have happened that didn't happen?
Yeah. In my days, I never disrespected a cat with his mama. I never came in no gang shit when he had his kids. I didn't shoot at nobody that had their kids because I didn't want that to happen to me with mine. I done seen cats when I was with my mother and in the store. Okay, I see you with moms and get that nod. I already know. If it was me by myself, it would have been bam. So I had this one cat giving it up to me and my homeboy. I don't think he'd be mad. My homeboy Lee Ford. And we rolling and he banging. Oh man, we gotta get him. So we pull up, we chasing him, we block him in. When we block him in, I'm ready to get him. And he reached to his dashboard, and man, in the name of Jesus. And he got a pass because he grabbed the Bible.
What'd you feel at that point when you seen the Bible?
I gave the brother his respect. I never understood it. I never understood it why cats didn't write on the church. They don't write on the church. Everything else is marked up, but they don't write on the church. It's out of respect. And when he came with the Bible, it was like, oh. His whole life changed. He should have went on about his business and never gangbang another day in his life.
Do you know if he stopped gangbanging at that point?
No, I ain't seen that brother. I don't know. I ain't even know him. But he was giving it up to us, banging. And we hit a U, and we following this dude. We chasing him. And Lee blocked him in. And when I got out, it was just, kill this mother. I had one. And he reached to the dashboard and was, man, in the name of Jesus, with the Bible right there. And man, this nigga, because one, he wasn't for real about it if he grabbed the Bible. At that time, I didn't believe in, wasn't on the Bible like that. And it was just something there that leave this dude alone. And we gave him a pass. You know, so yeah, we all done got a pass. If you ain't got a pass, you ain't in the thick of it. Now these days, they shoot motherfuckers because they got on red t-shirts and blue t-shirts. And it's so mixed up now because you got Crips wearing a lot of red. You got Bloods wearing a lot of blue. I was finna pull on my blue LA hat and then I said, no, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gangbanging, but, and I ain't tripping on what people think, but I have never wore one like that. I just put on a blue hat and just rocked it like that. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, you know, seeing a Crip with red or a Blood with blue was like it was like so petty that I just remember, you know what I'm saying? Like I knew a lot of Bloods and Crips growing up, man, where it'd be like they didn't even want to get a shoe if it had like a little
Right.
bit of red on it.
And that
You
don't make
know?
no goddamn sense, but that's what it is today. And these cats out here, you don't know who's who, and the beefs are not real. They just because, it don't make no sense. I tell my nephews, ain't no way in the world. How the can y'all even think like this? But it is what it is, man. You can't save them all. You can't tell these little cats shit today. You know what I'm saying? Some of them you can. Like I see Melvin them out there doing their thing, trying to save, and talk to these kids. Out of 50, you might get 10. You might get 5. But I get it. I get it.
I mean, shit, man, saving one life is huge, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of older dudes now that are really committed to helping out the youth and keeping kids out of gangs, man.
Right.
And I just think that's really dope to see, man.
It is, man. I mean, it's our time. We the reasons why shit is the way it is today. I had to realize the shit that I was doing. And the only way I was able to realize, I got a lot out of my brother's death. Not paying attention to none of the things I did or the guys that was dying around me until April of 2002. When I seen what my sisters and my moms and my little brother and what I was going through, it was like, damn, just imagine how many people you put in the same situation. Now, if everybody look at it like that, when you go to a funeral and you crying and you going through it and you see everybody falling out and going through that shit, just take 2 lives and just think how many people you hurt by that, by just killing 2 one. Uncles, aunties, cousins, friends, co-workers. And I had to say like, God damn, is this what I inflict on the world? I had to think about that shit. It's like, damn. I can honestly say I wouldn't kill him up for nothing. Not for a rag, not for no colors, not for an argument. Not no gangbanging shit. But if you trying to do me, I'll take your life. And I wouldn't feel bad. But under those circumstances, man, we have created and hurt a lot of people in life. And that's what I want to rectify. That's where I came in, tried to make the change. I had to look at it like that. Instead of being a victim, I had to think about all the victims, the people that I've hurt. I had to think and put myself in their shoes because here I am, I'm looking at my brother on the slab, and it's like, damn. And it just repeats itself. It repeats itself. And I never looked at it like I was hurting. I'm hurting one motherfucker at a time. No, I'm hurting hundreds at a time. And it was the coldest shit for me.
Besides your brother passing away, is there any other situations that made you like, I don't want to do this no more?
No. Everybody that passed, a homie that passed, it was, we gang banging, we go to the funeral, we go do what we do, and we celebrate that birthday. The passing of that person, it's like a ritual. Never did I say, oh, I gotta quit this shit. I can't do it no more. No. That only put fuel on the fire when you lose somebody. The saga continues.
You know, one of the biggest situations that Suge is kind of known for, and I believe you were there for it, was the whole Vanilla Ice situation. You know, he got a, you know, I think it was a fake story going around that he hung him off the balcony, but, you know, I seen the actual clip of an interview where Vanilla Ice said that never happened. You know, can you kind of take me through, you know, what happened?
Only thing I can say is the brother got checked, the brother signed the papers, and they got their money. But you know you can't talk too much about that type of shit. But yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people that were scared of Suge Knight got exploited, and the price they just had to pay it, and they did. So he was scared of Suge. Shit happened. Suge wanted his money out of it, our monies from it, and he got it.
So Chocolate did write part of that song?
Yeah, chocolate. He was mad at me. Like I thought that was money. He got paid.
Yep. You're not going to say if he wrote it or not?
I don't know if he wrote it or not. He got paid.
Okay. You know,
He got his money.
yeah, okay. I hear you, man. So when you first started, you were bodyguarding for Snoop.
No, when I first started, I started bodyguarding with Suge. When Death Row started, when they didn't really have, they had people that picked Snoop up from his apartment, bring him to the office, do whatever. But I bodyguard when Snoop was at court for the murder. Suge called me and asked me to bring some of the homies to the court because at that time, Snoop homeboys were threatening him. And sure, I'll be up there. So Suge told me to have 13, 15 people, get the homies and have them spread it out each side of the court building, just in case. Nigga, please. I got 7 to 9 niggas and posted. You know, everybody that I know that was gonna be there if it ever happened, if a fight break out, all mine is standing. So we posted up every day while he was going to trial. There for him when he got off the elevator, there for him when he came through the door in the morning to go to the elevator. Didn't have to sit up there while he went through court. Come up, come down, him and his pops and them, take him to the car. They go, we go.
And this was protection from his own homies.
Yeah, his homeboys was, well, a lot of people was trying to get money out of Snoop at the time. And from what Suge them said is, gotta go up there and watch the homie because his people was asking for monies from him and said that they was gonna get him if he didn't give him money. It was only cracking. So Suge had us up there.
To make sure he wasn't getting extorted.
To make sure nobody did nothing to him.
Yeah.
So that was my job.
Wow, that's crazy, man. So you do this bodyguarding for Snoop. You know, Snoop beats his case. You know, what do you kind of do after that?
After the Snoop case was over, back in the hood. Back in the hood doing hood shit. With my baby mama doing my shit and kept it pushing from there. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about trying to find out where this nigga at and do this and do that. Suge was over there doing him. I'm back in real reality. I'm back living life, hustling like, you know.
I've recently seen you and Reggie have linked back up, and you guys kind of started doing some interviews again on the Bomb First channel.
Yeah.
You know, that's good to see, man. You know, I really like your guys' dynamic, you know, because, you know, even though you guys come from the same city in the same environment, you guys still kind of grew up different. You know, he ended up becoming a cop. You know what I'm saying? You were in the streets more.
That's when Reggie changed. That's when it was different for Reggie. Reggie was in the hood. Reggie had a father that wouldn't finna let him go down that road. And Reggie went to the academy. If Reggie, and I keep saying this, and I don't know how he would call him, he keeps saying, no, I wouldn't, I don't think I would have. Reggie would have been from the hood. Just like his cousins, his immediate family, they from the hood, he would have been too. He begged to differ, but, you know, I've been knowing their family from day one, since 73. His grandma was on the same block, a door down from us, a house away from us, you know. I know all his uncles, his aunties, and, you know, cousins whatsoever. Grandma, grandpa, all of them. I used to do work for grandma, grandpa. We used to go look for grandpa. Me and Reggie got over a 50-year history. It's different from everybody in the streets, you know, not just a relationship with him, his dad, but his family. So I knew him before he even thought about being a police officer. I knew his daddy before his daddy became a police officer. So, you know, same block. You know what I'm saying? His auntie lived in the house next door, and his grandmama was right next to that. So I'm right there with their family. You know what I'm saying? So it's over 50 years that I've been knowing them on this block. So it's totally different from everybody else.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, you guys did the interviews.
Yeah.
And I believe you guys got a podcast. You guys are working on.
Still bombing. We just starting it off, and you know, I just hope everything, you know, stay where it's at, stay on that right course. One thing I learned, man, is, you know, it's a snake in the mist everywhere. And, you know, I did the Gangster Chronicles. Not once have I ever took credit for or none of that type of shit. You know, me and Norm ain't talked since February when this shit first started. Not one time, we ain't said a word. And me personally, that's some bitch shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I had to let that shit go and go the legal way and whatever. So if it don't pan out the legal way, it is what it is. I ain't mad. Gangster Chronicles didn't define me. Gangster Chronicles didn't make me. Gangster Chronicles helped me in a big way. You know what I'm saying? It helped me slow down. My biggest was my grandson. But, you know, I chalked Gangster Chronicles, Norm Steele, I chalked that shit up to it is what it is. Now that me and Reggie is is trying to put something together. If it was meant, it's gonna happen.
Well, what did all happen? How did the breakup happen?
Gangsta Chronicles.
Yeah.
Norm felt a certain kind of way. You know, every conversation me and his brother had was, "You my brother, you my brother, man, Lionel. I'm woo woo woo. If I'm broke, you broke. If I got you." And then this nigga text me and say, "I don't think we can work together no more." Okay, well, if you don't do that, then what? We done with iHeart? Are we done with that situation? Period. Now I done got paid for this second season. Now, at the end of the day, he goes and we go right back into it. He get the money for the third season. He don't want to split the money. He wants the money for himself. He figuring he got to do whatever he got to do. And, you know, at the end of the day, nigga, I got a family too. You know what I'm saying? I got to take care of mine too. But he was looking out for himself. No problem. So I let the lawyers deal with the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Are you guys going to court over it? Cause
Well, yeah, I got my legal team through the help of friends, got them on the shit, Reg, and other people.
you were half owner, right?
Yeah, I got 50% in that. I
So
got
then
a contract.
How could he actually just?
Because whatever he doing, he lying to those people and whatever. I mean, whatever happens with it, I mean, you know, we gonna see. The lawyers done stepped in and some letters and whatever. So we're gonna see how Charlamagne and them react to that. But other than that, I ain't tripping. I chalk it up and, you know, a lot of shit, here I am blaming myself for some shit. A lot of shit I didn't pay attention to. A lot of shit I allowed to happen because, I'm not saying I believe or I'm trusting in this dude. I gave that cat like 100 the benefit of the doubt that we was with each other like that. I didn't walk away from that dude not one time. So, like I said, cutthroat is a cutthroat, man. And everybody has their day, so I ain't tripping. Me and Reggie got, it felt like it did when we first started Gangsta Chronicles. The only thing that's different is we don't have Alex. It's me and Reggie. So I know Reggie know me. Everybody know Reggie pisses me the fuck off all the time. And sometimes I ain't ready for it, but it keeps me like hyped up. Cause I know he gonna come sooner or later with some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? So I know Reggie and Reggie know what he gonna get from me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to do all that other dumb shit and go in that direction no more. So if it's God's willing, this podcast is gonna do just as better as Gangsta Chronicles.
Is it only you two, or are you guys looking to bring somebody else?
No,
in?
it's just me and Reg for right now. It's just me and him. Right now, trusting and believing in the mother ain't my cup of tea, ain't where I'm at. My circle has gotten smaller and smaller. I stay the fuck away from people, man. If I mind my business, if they in my business, that's intentionally. And I take offense to it. And it is what it is, but I mind my own business, man. I don't give a what cats is out there saying, doing, how they do it. I'm minding my business. So more power to the norms. If the nigga did me, he gonna do the next person. So I ain't worried about that. I ain't worried about it. Somebody, you know, I'm focused on still bombing, and I'm gonna give it my 100 like I gave Gangsta Chronicles. You know?
Man, that's what's
Cool.
up, man.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. You know, looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I'm looking
appreciate
forward
that, man.
for you and Reg to get back on it.
And everybody gonna get a good bar of it. You know, I don't too much shy away from certain shit, but some questions that in certain events, certain people I stay the away from them. I don't have time for the Charlestons. I don't have time for the, I ain't gonna even mention names, for people. And I've learned my lesson dealing with Norm Steele. I learned my lesson. Gangster Chronicles was nothing but a name. It was a show. At the end of the day, you know, black men can't do shit together. I understand that, especially if it's more than two, more than three. Somebody gonna want it all at some point, and this is what happened between me and him. He wanted the whole get down, and I don't give a if you came up with the name, because this is his whole battle. I came up with that name. I came up with the concept. I don't give a you didn't Gangster Chronicles ain't where it's at because of you. He thinking about him. When and Reg will tell you, when Gangster Chronicles came about and our cameraman came about, our cameraman came said he don't want to die. I told him bullshit. If we get $300 a month, we're gonna split that $300 amongst us five. We're gonna split it. We gotta learn how to work together. We don't do that. But then they get mad at the Mexicans when the Mexicans sit over here. We ain't gonna build no car together. They don't want to see my car look better than his car. You ain't gonna help me do that. I got the money to do my car, to fix my car better than your car, but he ain't gonna help me do it because he don't want that. But then they get mad when they see him. It's crazy. We don't deal with each other well, black brothers. And you know, they get mad and you letting us down. I'm not letting us down. I'm just telling the truth. We don't get along well. Now, do this happen in every neighborhood with every race? Yes, it do, but more with us. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my best bet is just to stay away from the dumb shit. I don't have to commit any crimes. I don't have to hurt nobody. I don't have to do shit. I stay away and I invest everything I got into my grandkids. And I'm good. I'm happy with that.
Glad to see you came a long way.
All the time, yeah.
You know, making it happen, man.
Well, at some point, we all got to grow up, Cam. We all got to grow up, man. And you know, I thank God that he put me in a place to do a show, to do Gangster Chronicles, whatever name it would have been something. We would have done something. It took me from here to here. It raised some shit in me that I didn't think that, you know, people didn't want to hear, or that I was just another statistic, one of those cats. It gave me the exposure. I went to Virginia, Texas. I went to different places to help different people. I've helped, that I know for sure that I helped, 3 single moms with boys and daughters. I felt good about that. I helped people in Texas. I helped brothers that watch Gangster Chronicles that I'm still in contact with. So nothing but good came out of it for me. You know what I'm saying? What the reason do I have to be mad or hating or want to kill a brother over the bullshit for? I ain't tripping off of that. If you build Gangster Chronicles like you say you did and you got it cracking the way you think you did, then it should stay that way. You shouldn't lose a beat that James, Reggie, Alex, or nobody's there. You should have started that motherfucker on your own, and now you give your credit where credit is due. Don't just say, motherfucker, I got here by myself. So all that other shit, I ain't even worried about it. I ain't worried about it. It ain't gonna send me to prison.
Yeah.
The only thing that send me to prison is I know I don't have a choice, brother. If I don't have a choice, yeah. At my age, they give me 25. I'd be 80 something, damn near 90 when I get out that motherfucker. So, I'm gonna go lay down. Get called Pops in prison. Hey, Pops, hey, old man. I'll be old man getting out of jail. This shit'll be over. So, did I have a different mind frame at 15, 20? I went to prison, came home. Still a young man. If I go today at 58, 59 years old with 25 or 30, that's it. It really has to be worth it for me to accept that. It has to be worth a life. It has to be. Other than that, I'm not going back. I'll never go back to prison. I've been out of prison since 1988.
What'd you go to prison for?
For being bad, for fucking up. So
How long did you do?
I did a couple years. So if I go back, like I said, it's for doing something I shouldn't have did. Well, I ain't gonna say shouldn't have did because I could have did it, but it'll be my fault. But I'm cool with that. At my age, I don't give a f. It gotta be worth it. Not for free. So it's a big difference, bro.
I hear you. I hear you, man. You know, before we get out of here, I was gonna touch a couple more topics, man. Suge gets a lot of negative feedback or a lot of negative publicity. People, kind of give him, a bully type of image. Now, one thing I do hear people always say positive about Suge was that he helped a lot of people get their money.
He did.
Is there anything you could talk about or that you've seen during that time?
Well, Suge done helped Mary J. He done helped TLC. He done helped a lot of them fix that crooked, that weird ass contract bullshit. He did do that, and I can honestly say I can't take that away from him. The only problem Suge Knight had was putting himself in a situation or molding something that he had no business doing. He should have never put himself in a gang-banging mentality. It's not him. And, Suge did a lot of good for some of the homies. A lot of us didn't have that way of thinking, that way out. And when he came, he gave a lot of cats, like I said, that never had a paycheck or paper check. It was always, give me your money. Didn't have that. Selling dope, never knew nothing else. And he gave a motherfucker a sense of, okay, I can work. So he did that. Like I said, the only problem that Suge Knight had was being something he wasn't. Being something that he wasn't and trying to possess something he couldn't control. And that was power. He couldn't control it. He didn't know how to do that. Never had it. So he ran wild with it. He took advantage of it. And it swallowed him up at the end of the day.
Do you think Suge became that person eventually? He started off as, just being a CEO, and he just got so caught up in the power and the fame and the money, and that he just kind of became this person that he was maybe never meant to be?
Yeah, he definitely was created his own monster, his own demons. Suge was nothing like what people see today. But like I said, anybody that's in the street living that street life like that, at some point you get caught up. Suge Knight got caught up because he put himself in situations that he didn't have to. Because not only Suge, not only Tupac, those guys wanted to prove a point to gang members. They wanted to prove their loyalty, nigga, I'm with this type of shit to those niggas. Wasn't necessary. They didn't have to. They had the money. They didn't have to do what we doing. What the fuck you got us around you for if you want to do this? Stand on your own motherfucking feet.
If Suge would have just stayed out of the street, how far do you think Death Row would have went?
It would have went way farther than that. A few of the times Suge went to jail, he wouldn't have went to jail. He would have been able to conduct business. Suge never drunk, smoked nothing, never did none of that. At the end of the day, he wound up doing all of that. You feel me? And having a female suck on you, now you doing drugs, now you drinking. Come on, man, that wasn't Suge Knight. That wasn't Suge. Business-minded, that's what Suge was. He stayed on his shit. At the end of it, he didn't give a... He missed court dates. That wasn't Suge, man. And why Suge in jail today, why that happened at the burger stand, it just caught up with him. It caught up with him. And as soon as he went to jail, damn, why am I playing like I'm that nigga and I'm not? I wasn't. He ain't no bitch. He ain't no scary motherfucker like that, but you dealing, Dre and them got gangbangers, real niggas. Like, those cats with the hood, the homies done did prison time with Antons and Miller Gangsters, the trees, the Fruit Town. So niggas got history. A lot of cats was like, man, this nigga ain't cut like y'all niggas, man. Why is woo, woo, woo? Nobody can answer that. You feel me? So what he created was his demise. He wasn't the average homie from the hood, from the penitentiary to the hood, either or, making those calls, or that dude. He wasn't that dude. And Death Row gave him power that he wasn't ready to possess. He wasn't ready for that because it wasn't right here, and he didn't have it here. So, when he realized he wasn't a leader, it was too late. It was too late.
Is there a reason why Suge was never officially made a member of Mob Piru?
No, Suge grew up with his mama and his father, Maxine, and they were protective of Suge. They made sure Suge went to school. They made sure Suge went to college.
So Suge wasn't allowed to hang out on the block with you guys?
No, he didn't hang out on the block with us. No,
Never?
No. Now, on his street, on Orchard, like Kenny Tubbs and all of them, he know, but Brian and all of them, hanging in the hood and walking through the hood, and no, he didn't do that. They wasn't having that.
But he still knew everybody, went to school with everybody?
No, he didn't know everybody. Like I said earlier, he didn't know Buntry, he didn't know Neckbone, he didn't know Heron, he didn't know those dudes.
So you were his main way in?
Yeah, they came, Neckbone them came with Buntry. Heron them came after the fact. At the beginning, it was me, Brian, Kevin Woods was there. No, Kevin Woods was there. But Suge didn't deal with the homies like on a full capacity until Death Row. When Death Row came, the homies, first time, only time, the homies put on tuxedos. And we had a limo. And we opened up Death Row then, and DOC and all of them, he was there. We had an issue. Was the only time that when Suge really got to meet the Rock Chisholms and all of the homies from the hood. Yeah,
damn.
he didn't know them. I brung a gang of homies from Bonnie Hollis, from all over the place to the concert. He met some guys, but did he go home like best friends with them niggas? Nah. He met them. He bounced. We bounced.
What type of kids was he hanging around with when he was a kid?
Suge, I think he was hanging with his cousins, the twins. I don't know what he was doing. I really didn't hang with Suge. We didn't have a, what you call him, when Suge ride his motorcycle, I ride my motorcycle. And we had this thing, Devil's Dip. I seen Suge and did shit, rode around several times, but Suge didn't kick it at Aikens. Suge didn't kick it on Pine. Suge didn't kick it on Stockton, where everybody hung out at. Suge didn't kick it he couldn't kick it like that. He wasn't around the homies like that. So when he came, and I don't even know if he knew I was in prison, but when he came, okay, what's going on? Whoa, whoa, whoa. So I hooked up with him, him, and the little homie Tom, the homeboy Tom, and we went from there.
Well, that's what it is, man.
Yeah.
Mob James, man, I could talk to you for hours and hours, man.
Man, I got some real shit. I mean, you know, it is what it is. I come back.
Yeah, man.
But
I really appreciate you, man. You
all
know,
the time, brother.
You know, your history, you know, everything you've been through, man. You know, I'm glad to see you doing good. You know, I'm glad to see the podcast coming together, man.
I'm glad to see that too, Cam. Man, cats like us only get one real chance in a lifetime. I'm taking advantage of this one. You know what I'm saying? That first 50, I that off. This other half of the 50, I got to do right by it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I grabbed my grandkids. What's most important to me, and I'm rolling with it. You know what I'm saying? Broke nigga or not, I'm good. I'm happy for the first time really in my life. None of my wives made me happy. None of that shit. You know, where I'm at in life now, I'm happy. Believing in God, getting stronger, getting closer. Nothing else fucking matter, bro. I'm probably the happiest motherfucker on this planet right now today. I ain't got no beefs. I ain't worried about nobody. Man, I like where I'm at today, you know? And if I got to give credit to Gangster Chronicles and people like yourself that I can express myself to on a platform, man, I got to give credit to everybody that see me on this journey. I'm good. I can die today and don't have no problems, no regrets. God is my witness, man. I'm cool as a motherfucker. I'm straight with my life. And I hope a lot of other brothers can suck that shit up and feel the way I feel, you know. One time in our life, just be happy. I'm good.
Well, that's what it is, man.
Yes,
I'm definitely glad to hear that, man. And, you know, once again, I appreciate your time, man.
All the time,
You know
all the time. I
Dope-ass
appreciate being
interview.
here, man. I like your podcast. I like the shit you bring. I appreciate this, you know, what you doing. And like all the other guys, I've been on their platforms. And I love it when I'm allowed to speak. And I go back and I watch what I did on your show. Okay, the most important shit is still on there. You put it out there. A lot of people cut this, cut that, and want to make it seem like I'm the bad guy or I said something up. I hate that part of it, but man, I appreciate what y'all doing, and man, you just got to get more cats like you, and you know, Melly Males and all that out there that, you know, just bringing that real shit. So. My hat off to you, my brother.
That's what it is, bro.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, man.
All the time.
Definitely. What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon. So hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.